You guys, this is Adam Gillespie with Rancid and Sweaty Cabs coming at you with yet another video. And I'm not exactly sure why it is that Disney continues to do the stupidest things possible when it comes to the casting of their characters and the beloved franchises that Disney has utter determination to ruin in every instance. But it looks like Disney is continuing down that path, despite the fact that it's continuing to get worse and worse for them. Every time they do this, people leave the fan base. Every time people do this, they lose people that they can have as fans for Disney. It's just ridiculous. Seriously, guys, wake up. Stop going down the woke road. Just do things that you know people are going to like. Stop pandering. It's ridiculous. But Disney looks set to cast Michael B. Jordan as lead in live-action Hercules. Now, I'm not sure if you can tell the difference between the two characters here. I'm not sure if you can tell the difference between Michael B. Jordan and a Greek guy, but they're not exactly the same individuals, right? They're not exactly the same in terms of appearance. Michael B. Jordan, good enough actor. I think that he's okay in a lot of the roles that he's done. Creed 1 and 2 were pretty okay movies. I didn't watch Creed 3. I just didn't have any desire to. He's a pretty decent actor, and he can do a lot of good stuff. Have him do stuff that fits him. But if you're going to cast him in an ancient Greek story, why not get somebody who looks like someone from ancient Greece? Just a thought. I have the same problem when I hear The Rock playing Hercules in a Hercules movie, and he's just dropping F-bombs in the middle of the movie. It's like, dude, it takes you out of the story entirely. I have the same issue when you have some super scrawny dude playing Hercules. I have the same issue when someone plays Hercules and they use a British accent when it's a Greek character. It's ridiculous. Get somebody else. As the masses await Snow White 2024, the next entry in Disney's live-action universe, many are also looking ahead at what is to come from the House of Mouse, and the live-action Hercules movie will reportedly feature Marvel star Michael B. Jordan from Black Panther as the titular Greek god. Over the last few years, the Walt Disney Company's efforts to retell their own classic animated stories in a live-action format have received mixed reviews. There are those fans who love seeing their favorite characters come to life in a whole new way, but there are also those who would prefer one of the most prominent entertainment powerhouses in history to put out original stories over retellings. That too. But the live-action machine is not slowing down. Next year, we'll see the release of much-discussed Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot as Snow White and the Evil Queen, respectively. The movie, based on Walt Disney's first-ever feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, is slated for a March 2024 release, surrounded by controversy, thanks in part to Disney's changes to the story, as well as comments made by its star, Rachel Zegler. Snow White would be a breaking ground point for the Walt Disney Company and its continued live-action efforts. It's not going to be. It's probably going to be breaking ground in the way that it's not going to make any freaking money, but it's not going to be breaking ground in any meaningful way. Looking past Snow White, many more films are scheduled to join the catalog of movies that already includes Alice in Wonderland, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. And here's the thing about The Lion King that annoys the crap out of me. It's just CGI. It's not live action. It is not live action. It is a CGI version of the cartoon movie. It's a CGI version with less effective singing, worse songs, worse takes on the songs, and zero emotion from the characters because of the fact that it's CGI and they wanted to make the lions look like real lions. It's not even live action. It's just a 3D animated movie. I don't know why people are still calling it live-action Lion King. Just call it less emotional Lion King. Call it less effective at telling the story of Lion King, Lion King. That's what the movie deserves to be called, because it is a lesser version of the original Lion King movie. It's ridiculous. At present, all that is known about Guy Ritchie is directing, following his work on the billion-dollar Aladdin and Anthony and Joe Russo are producing, with Dave Callahan, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, tapped to pen the screenplay. So you know it's going to be terrible if it's the Shang-Chi writer, because Shang-Chi was an absolute dog crap movie. It was an absolutely atrocious film. If the guy who's writing Shang-Chi is writing Hercules, it's going to be a terrible film. Now, Guy Ritchie can do some pretty good stuff when it comes to directing, but if the writing is terrible, the directing doesn't much matter, because the writing's awful. And the writing is on the wall. This movie is likely going to be awful. Because again, it's Disney, and they're trying to do a live-action version of a beloved cartoon movie, and they're already getting it wrong with the casting. You want to know how someone is going, how to tell if a franchise is going to be respected when it is adapted into a specific medium? The best way to initially get information on that is to look at the casting. If you can tell, based off the casting alone, that they have zero respect for the source material, then it's a pretty good chance that the rest of the story is going to be crap. If they can't even get the casting right, they won't get the story right. Now, if they were able to get the story right and they just cast people in different roles, fine. That's fine. Just do the story right. But they can't do the story right because it's not allowed to be done right in modern Hollywood. It has to be done with a social justice warrior spin. It has to be done with all these politics thrown into it. It has to be done with some sort of message protruding at every available place in the freaking story. And you can't get any of the good old-fashioned stories that you were initially given when you were a child. Instead, all the stuff that was once wonderful and amusing and just took you into a whole new world because it was so immersive as a story is just thrown out the window in favor of modern day talking points. And already Disney is getting Hercules wrong. And it's only going to get worse from here. We've seen it before. It's going to happen. We all know Hercules is going to be a terrible movie, and Disney is going to ruin it. And I bet you Hercules isn't going to be the hero of his own story. And instead, they're going to bring in some other person to save Hercules when Hercules can't save himself. And it's going to be terrible. That being said, have a good day and a great rest of the week.